Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. President William Samoei Ruto has nominated the wife of the former IEBC chair of Chebukati, Madam Mary Chebukati Wanyoni, to head the Commission on Revenue Allocation. And this appointment is being discussed across the political divide, and it has really attracted sharp debate. I will tell you why Madam Mary Wafula has got merit and qualifies to be in that office, but she's not supposed to be in that office. I want to repeat, she's got every qualification to be in that office, but she is not supposed to be in that office. If you watch this video to the end, I will also demonstrate to you that just towards the August elections, Madam Chebukati had prayed for wisdom from God, wisdom that never came. And that is why Chebukati bungled our elections. And even though it's attracting a lot of sharp reaction, William Ruto does not care, because obviously, for lack of a better term, he is rewarding impunity. One, Madam Mary Chebukati holds a master's degree in business administration, and she is also a seasoned accountant. Currently, she's working at the Ministry of Lands, and he is heading the accounts office. She's got a wealth of experience. William Ruto is also using this to achieve the 2/3 gender, because he had promised that he will increase appointments to the position of women in these offices, and so he will defend the appointment of Madam Mary Chebukati. Madam Mary is also a Kenyan, and that goes without saying that she qualifies to be in this office. And so on the question of meritocracy, yes, Madam Wafula Chebukati qualifies to be in this office. There is no question about this. Of course, she's going to be the third holder of this office. After the 2010 constitution, the first person to head that office was Mika Cheseren. Then came Jane Kiringai, who has done her six-year term, and she'll be taking over. According to the spokesperson, State House spokesperson, Hussein Mohammed, he had indicated that Madam Mary Chebukati is bringing the wealth of experience into this office, and they believe that she's going to transform this office. Sijakata, I don't refute any of those facts, because obviously she's got a lot of academic acquisition. You know, they also say that behind every successful man, there is a successful wife. The question that I want to put to you, do you think Chebukati is a successful man? You know, we don't need to hide the truth. The truth is, I don't think Chebukati is a successful man, because Chebukati cannot walk freely with heads and shoulders high and stand and be counted that when he was needed to stand for this truth, he did it. Chebukati is burning with the guilt conscience, because he has bungled 3 elections in 2013, 2017, and 2017. I want to give you a speech before we get into why I feel that this appointment was unwarranted, despite the fact that Mrs. Chebukati overqualifies for this position. Listen to her speech just before the August polls.
Naomba tu mtuombe kama familia wakati huu wenye tunaingia hii period ya election. Mimi naomba mtuombe, sababu mimi najua mzee wangu kitu kimoja, anataka tu kufuata sheria. Kwa hivyo saa zingine tunamuonanga kwa TV zaidi kuliko tunamuona nyumbani, sababu ya hii kazi. Hata vile namuona hapa, sijui, namshukuru sana kupata wakati kuweka kazi zake kidogo kando. Kazi zake ni national, kuja kutuombeleza sisi na familia yetu. Si amefanya vizuri, tunashukuru sana. Muendelee kumwombea, mtuombee sisi. Tulipata ile election nyingine, watoto walikuwa na huzuni sana, lakini sasa wako na nguvu, na hata yeye mwenyewe ako na nguvu. Kila asubuhi tunamwombeanga tukisema Mungu mpatie wisdom.
If you listen to that speech carefully, it portrays a person who is already guilty, because she kept on telling Kenyans to pray for the husband. I wonder why she wanted Kenyans to pray for the husband and not pray for the whole nation, because we were approaching a very, what was seen to be a very hotly and closely contested election. And of course what we needed was to pray for everyone. And she sounded like she was sure that something was going to happen to her husband. And if you ask me, she is a partner in crime. She knew very well, because you know, matters election, and especially the position of Wafula Chebukati, he must have discussed with her, and he must have told her that this is what we are planning to do. We have a deal with William Ruto, and this is what is going to happen. And she knew it was not going to be very easy. And towards the end of her speech, she says that she is praying, or she was saying that she was praying for wisdom from God. And this is one thing that I can assure you, that either God did not bring that wisdom, or God brought that wisdom and they ignored it. Because if Chebukati had that wisdom, he wouldn't have meddled, he wouldn't have bungled an election that has really disappointed many people. There are people who have not really woken up from that shock. So that wisdom was never there, despite the fact that she prayed for it. But now let me tell you why, even if Madam Wafula overqualifies for this position, she's not supposed to be given this position. Number one, the appointment has been marred by a lot of confusion, suspicion, and anger. Because we have a situation where your husband has bungled the election. That is so obvious. And if you want to know that the elections were bungled, open the server. The server will show you. In fact, today, the Azimio fraternity, the Azimio bipartisan representatives have walked away from the talks for 7 days, citing lack of seriousness from the Kenya Kwanza team. And one of the things that is becoming a thorn in the flesh, is the issue of opening the server. This is hot potato. The Kenya Kwanza team does not want to hear it. So by appointing Wafula Chebukati's wife, it's like you're corroborating what people have always thought, the suspicion that you are rewarding impunity. It is like William Ruto is telling the people that I don't care, I'm rewarding one who helped me ascend to power. And of course, I have mentioned to you that she's a Kenyan, she's an accountant, she's got that experience. But sometimes, wisdom and common sense overrides your qualification. She knows very well that she's going into this office while many have got a lot of questions and reservations. So on this, she's not supposed to be there. If she ascends to this office, remember, it is tantamount to conflict of interest. And forever, what will happen is that anybody who is going into that office will be dancing to the tune of the executive. You will be going there knowing very well that I will be rewarded when I help the executive, or when I help someone get to power. Then I will have my relatives being appointed to office. And I think we need to change our laws to compel those who hold such high offices not to have their closest or nuclear family members being appointed into office when they are in office, and maybe 5 to 10 years after they have left such offices, because this will help You ask everyone, they will tell you that this is a reward for a bungled election, a reward for helping William Ruto to ascend to office. And I'm convinced that this is what is happening. And why am I persuaded? We've heard stories about those who wanted to kill Chebukati. No one has brought to book. And this tells me that they wanted to sanitize Chebukati, but do you think they have sanitized him? Not at all. Chebukati is a man under siege. In fact, there was just last week there was some news that Chebukati was sick, and I was really shocked that Kenyans were celebrating. And this tells you the anger and the pain that Chebukati left in people's hearts, an indelible mark that people will never forget. When you are called to serve in such sacred offices, you need to be steadfast, you need to be honest, you need to go beyond being compromised by the powers that be. And even as Mrs. Mary goes to that office, ladies and gentlemen, she's going there shamelessly because people don't approve of it. She's serving Kenyans who don't approve of it. And of course, William Ruto does not care because he got what he wanted. And in fact, I was thinking that the only person who had not been rewarded for helping William Ruto was the family of Wafula Chebukati. And I believe that they were given something in the pockets. Now this is another reward. I don't know what is going to happen in the next elections, because the person who will be there will be working to ensure that he wants Ruto to get a second term, so that he or she can also be rewarded by appointing his or her relatives into offices. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the reason why I'm telling you that yes, Madam Wafula Chebukati qualifies by her academic acquisitions, by the fact that she's a lady and or a woman, and we want to achieve the 2/3 gender rule. She is a Kenyan, and therefore it goes without saying that she is qualified. But common sense, wisdom, and public interest demands that if I were in her position, I would not accept. But looking at her husband and the manner in which Chebukati was behaving with a lot of impurity, I know she will take it. Parliament is going to approve it. I don't know what to think, but this is my take.